day 2, Sunday, day before Memorial Day. It's really hot out and sun's out. Can barely see anything, but made some progress. We got the FITECH off, cut some of the wiring, took the intake off. Took the O2 sensor out. That was a fight. Let's get you in here and we'll show you what's going on. So as you can see, cut some of the wiring. Gonna try and clean up some of the wiring. Labeled all my connections because it's been so long, and let's just say some of the wire colors aren't different. So gonna label them, try to keep them less confusing. I guess I'm gonna leave the water methanol on for now. I don't even know if it still works. I haven't activated it in a while because it was never tuned for it, but got the throttle body out, FITECH, got the fuel lines pulled back, got the intake off. All this old conduit is just falling apart. This stuff is just garbage. AutoZone stuff, that's like the worst stuff you could ever put on a vehicle, under the hood at least. Doesn't like temperature. This universal throttle cable bracket. Now this is the original throttle cable, so I bought a Mr. Gasket universal kit. I'm gonna try and use that to try and get rid of this whole loop-to-loop thing. When I have it on there, it makes it really stiff, and I think the cable's starting to get rusty from old age. I mean, it doesn't seem that bad, but when it's looped like that, it makes it a little tough. So I want to try to make that easy. Tired of a stiff throttle pedal, but we'll see. Can't sweat the little things. The exhaust, some spots are definitely not looking so hot. I don't think this exhaust is gonna last more than a couple of years, like all the custom bends part. Like over here starting to get rusty. I gotta put some of the stainless bands on instead of the steel wire, because the steel wire, it's a few years old now. It's the only thing I had laying around, so I put the steel wire on and twisted it, and it's starting to rust and come apart, and then it's just gonna unravel itself and be a mess. So probably gonna have to do a whole new exhaust system in a couple of years. The headers aren't too bad, but the whole rest of the exhaust is definitely not too hot. We'll get you in here and show you the O2 sensor bung that I had to deal with. You can see, kinda with the sun, that O2 sensor bung, not looking too hot. It is rusty. The exhaust was leftover piping from I don't even know what year that was. The van, leftover van exhaust. I think it's three and a half, 3 1/4, something like that. That we use to get rid of the hood stack. But I'm definitely gonna have to re-hood stack it. But that bung is it's not looking too good. I had to do the old cut the harness off and throw a socket on it to get it out, and the threads aren't looking too hot, so I ordered stainless welding bungs, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to redo this or just cut this out. I could just hole saw this out and then temporarily use the kit that comes with the Holley sniper kit, which is just a clamp on. You just cut your hole out, throw it on, and then it has clamps for now. And then I'll have to build a hood stack for it. and then maybe order an additional O2 sensor so I can just swap in between taking it to the track. I can throw the hood stack on, and then when I go to the track I can throw this exhaust on or build a new one, because that is not good if the head gasket goes. But the only thing bad about the hood stack is when you have the hood stack on, even before it came up probably like this high, the fumes just come up out of the stack, and when you have the windows down cruising in the summertime, just go right in the cab and you just suffocate, especially out of the wastegate. When you build boost and it opens, it just all that rich exhaust gas just pours out and goes right into the cab. And you can ask Jake, it's not a good time when you're just cruising down the road trying to have a good time and you're just breathing in all that bad exhaust fumes. Not ideal. So, but it's also quieter with the hood stack, which doesn't really make any sense other than when you have this on, I think it kind of echoes all in the engine bay and you get more noise in the cab. It's way more droning with this exhaust system, and it's way quieter with the stack, so that's the other benefit. It's quieter, but you breathe in exhaust fumes. Or you throw this on and it's louder. So, give and take, as they say, I guess. But I got all the conduit off of all this wiring, unwrapped all that, started cutting all the zip ties. I want to try and clean all this stuff up. I mean, I cleaned some of it up before, but I want to try and make it look less ghetto. Everything else looks okay except for the exhaust, but hopefully I can get a couple more years out of it. It's just starting to rust. I mean, a lot of this stuff I MIG welded. Except for that was one of the first things I TIG welded, steel wise. But pretty sure I used stainless filler because it's not rusting. And then that right there, the blow off valve, that was the first thing I successfully aluminum TIG welded. And it's not the best. Not the best looking, but I'm proud of it because it's still holding on for dear life. Aluminum's very tricky, especially the crappy aluminum. Like this is just eBay budget. This is just Amazon. I don't even know what size that is. 3-inch tubing, just intercooler piping. I mean, you really got to clean the aluminum. That's one thing I learned. But other than that, we're pretty much ready to install the Harley Sniper. This bed, it's really quick connect, disconnect. It's just on pins, so take this off. Filler neck. I'm missing one, but so there's a pin, cotter pin right there, cotter pin right there. Well, those kind of pins, but same thing. It's just mounts up in there. A lot of this stuff is not the best, but definitely makes it easy to work on the side of the road. So anyway, that's pinned. There's 2 connectors down in this corner for the tail lights and everything. So you disconnect those 2 connectors, and then back in the bed there's one right here, one pin right there. Wow, this thing's dirty. I gotta clean this up. There's one pin over there, and then there's one pin under here, which is just my flapper to keep stuff from going on the fuel pump. And God forbid you break down on the side of the road, you need a fuel pump quick access panel. But Is it really stupid if it works? I always wanted to buy nice stainless pins and then build get some aluminum rod and make spacers, or get aluminum, make aluminum spacers, just drill them and cut them to the height, perfect height, and then that way it doesn't have all those washers on there. But I never got to it, and they rattle. Like that pin fell out and the washers fell out and they just flew out, so not ideal, but it works. So you pull the pins, pull the 4 pins, pull the 2 or 3 pins, whatever is in there, and then you just lift the bed up and take it off. Those wires right there, one of the left rear turn signal, one of the wires got corroded, so I had to string a new wire, run it back there. I don't know what those other ones are for, I don't even remember. And that's really it. Taking the bed off sure beats dropping the tank down and working on the ground. Cause me and Jake built this truck on jack stands and on the ground. Once you get the bed off, it makes it so much easier to work on. So we'll get this Holley sniper system installed, and then I'll show you some of the wiring.